Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's stream of Imperium Maledictum, the Black Vault, episode 4. It's been a while. It's been like 2 weeks since I streamed last because of reasons. People let me down. Alright, let's flick on the thing. Hi, hello. Cheers, and I hope everyone's having a pleasant weekend thus far. Let me bring the old players in.
But it should be fine. The warp charges are purged. Everything is
completely purged.
Yeah, completely purged.
Not purged. You're gonna get us fucking killed. I can, honest to God, I can smell it in the air.
It's not gonna get you killed.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it will.
I mean, I hope it does.
Well, no,
It make for fun times. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And we're talking about the old psyker turning people into paste.
No.
No.
We would never talk about that. No.
Shame, because I think it's going to happen.
Well, when he turns into a quivering spaghetti monster and goes on a rampage, we'll just have to abandon him.
That's fair. Yep. So, before I get into it, Ravon, thank you for the 22 months. Callie for the 60 months. Lee with the 65 months. Shade, thank you for the 45. I can't say shade anymore. It's just forever ingrained in my head now. Shade! Appreciate it. Thank you. Shade, I'm sorry. I'm not, but I am.
I'm used to it by now, to be honest.
But thank you for the support. Welcome in, everyone. It's been 2 weeks since the last stream. With that said, can anyone remember what happened last time on the Black Vault? Go on, Constantine. I know you can.
It's been too long. I'm forgetting everything.
Been so long.
Severin?
Uh,
Since you were the last person to speak, I'm going to pass the book to you.
Wow.
Let's see. Well, the tech priest that is with us got the trains working, and we pretty sure that's where we picked up. The trains were there, and we started on our way.
Data Preserver Quartus, if I remember his name rightly.
Quartus is his name, yes. Data Preserver, I don't remember that, but I remember Quartus. We were taking the tracks ever closer to the vault, the artifact. On the way, of course, eventually the train tracks ended, and we went on foot, and we discovered something truly unsettling. Not only are there tech heretics, but there are also xeno scum. Freaking Necrons. Basically, Terminator with Gauss weaponry. Yes, just scum. And the first one that we ran into was a flayed one, which luckily its namesake was not present, because that would have been much more unsettling, loping along like a wolf with giant scything talons. Quite a few actually popped in, surprisingly, and even more surprising, nobody got liquefied by them.
No, much to the distress of the GM.
Or I should say, more appropriately, vaporized or disintegrated by them. And we pressed to the upper floor of on the outside of the vault, where we're getting ready to make entry. I believe that most of the session was fighting through those goddamn robots.
Yeah, it was a hefty chunk. Anything anybody else wishes to add to that? Because that's basically the gist of what happened.
Oh, you just want to put it in there. They didn't just show up. They phased in from dimensional pockets and rifts, so they're teleporting in. which means that there could be more, and we really need to get this shit done.
Yeah. We also may or may not have talked quarters into tech heresy by overwriting combat droids as parameters.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's for the Emperor. You know?
It is. We are starting to slip into somewhat of a radical mentality.
Ends justifies the means.
All right. So, with that said, then we'll pick up just after the incident last episode. Having fought off the Necron incursion, Finley had planted all 6 of his crack grenades on a few designated areas, the hinges of one of the doors, with you all stepping back and the command being given. The crack grenades detonated, causing the door to blow open and then come crashing down in your direction. Luckily, there was no harm, no foul to you all, as with you diving out of the way, the door broke one of the bridges, the pipelines across from the outer wall to the inner vault, before slipping into the abyss down below. How are you all in this current state of affairs? Because last I remember, Constantine, are you still limping along, or are you still using Errol as your...
No, I have a perfectly valid form mode of transportation. Thank you very much. I won't, suffer the indignity of fucking limping everywhere. Fuck that noise.
He's basically Master Blaster riding Errol.
Yeah. Keyframe blaster, because I'd be blasting fools with this pistol.
Yeah. The rest of you, though, as this door's been blown open, revealing another set of corridors, what's the plan? What are you all up to at this moment in time, having seen the metal monstrosities that you've just brought low?
Finley's just kind of like, what the fuck was that? Thanks for the toy. No, we need to, get the shit and get the fuck out of here.
Sure. Is it just through the corridor? Quarters.
Immediately, the tech priest turns his head to look. Yes.
All right. Anything we need to know about before we fucking just charge headlong?
So, as confirmation as to current mission parameters, we are to seek the main cogitator for interference with defenses, yes?
Yes.
Understood. As for opposition, if we are able to stick to maintenance corridors and a few... He takes a glance and looks at Errol. Tighter confines, there should be no issue, no cause for concern.
Wonderful. If that's the case, lead on. As fast as possible, as we don't know when they'll be back, or if there'll be more, as they just seem to fucking teleport in out of nowhere.
As if jinxed by your own words. You begin to hear, echoing behind you from the outer chambers of the Black Vault, the telltale crackle of phase shifting, of teleportation. Quartus begins to lead you all down the corridor, taking a left, then a right through a set of doors, and you would notice quickly that these corridors turn from quite grand affairs into smaller and smaller maintenance areas, but this din in the background starts to rise in volume. That of gunfire. Crackling of Gauss weapons, the cracks of las guns, the booming sounds of auto guns, and the occasional bolt pistol or bolter. Giving you all the impression that your guests have started making their way station side. And the other individuals who call this station home have no doubt started their own counterattack, or at least panicked shots at the arrival of the Necrons.
Okay, that's our cue to move faster. Much, much faster.
Fear not, the Omnisire protects, and these corridors, maintenance chambers are rarely used. Though, granted, if there is an assault from the world below, then these tunnels may be used by fleeing individuals. I would advise all hands prepare weapons. Quartus just carries on, skittering down the corridor at the head of the group, occasionally doing 90-degree turns into even tighter confines, to the point now where, Errol, you're starting to feel the odd pipe bump against your shoulders, and the occasional beam starting to, just skim the top of your head. And even you would realise that these tunnels are getting smaller and smaller as you wind your way through this maze.
I don't like it. Oh, you'll be fine, Arrow. We'll get you through this.
And then we'll hunches all the way down.
Like a gorilla dragging his knuckles.
Yeah.
All right. Quartus seems to have an idea of where he's going, even though at times it does feel like you're backtracking. You occasionally see the odd junction or the odd sign that looks similar. Granted, you know it's not, but the inside of this black vault seems to be a maze purposefully built to perhaps people to get lost in. A defensive measure that doesn't require guns or flame. With that said, can you all roll me? I'm going to want an athletics, an awareness. These are just going to be easy. So an athletics, an awareness. Let's go with a reflexes, a stealth,
Okay, so
and last but not least, an intuition.
we're starting with athletics then.
Yep. Who wants to do athletics? There's going to be one from everyone.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Boom. Athletics. All right. An awareness. Who wants to hit the awareness?
I've got a 37 on that.
Okay.
I can do that. Do you see a challenge or not? Easy?
Just easy. Just an easy awareness. Okay. That's a solid
Consider
one.
me aware.
Yeah. The other one was
Stealth?
stealth. So who wants to roll me an easy stealth check, please?
Probably not best for me to do it.
7, right?
Is it a general stealth check?
Yeah, unless you have something you wish that benefits you in being sneaky. If you have
You
a
said
more
easy,
special,
right?
yep. If you had a more specialized skill, you can go for that one. So bear in
I have
mind,
moved silently,
that,
but
perfect.
I don't think that's...
No. So basically, this is what I normally do is I get you guys to roll, and then you're going to narrate the little complication that occurs. So if you wish to make a move silently, then That's a subset of stealth. Excellent. So we've got awareness, we've got athletics, we've got stealth. The other one was reflexes.
Probably wouldn't make the old guy do that.
Go on then, I'll do it.
And then a presence.
Reflexes like a cat. A giant,
Really
dope
big cat.
So presence from Nathaniel, please.
Yep. Easy.
Yep, easy.
Put it out there. Everybody else passed.
Awesome. So that's it's a relatively successful excursion through the mines, or through the labyrinth, sorry, of tunnels beneath the vaults. Quartus is leading you to this either central control chamber or a cogitator. Finley, along this route of smaller and smaller maintenance corridors, with the sounds of gunfire and of combat starting to ring through the Black Vault, what complication occurs that you require an athletic hand, and how do you succeed?
So, because he's lugging along that gauze rifle as well, as the quarters are getting tighter and tighter, it's kind of getting caught up on loose cabling. And at one point, it gets caught and kind of jerks him, almost causing him to lose his feet, as he has to, like, bend backwards and unhook the cable that's gotten caught on it, as he then, gets, going again.
Quartus just turns around. Any particular reason you are lugging along a Xeno architect, some form? Surely that is heresy to your Inquisitor, yes?
Yeah, we'll bring it back to her. Gotta show her proof that shit's gone awry here even more than already.
For destruction, I imagine.
Yes.
Shame. But understandable. He takes a piece of braiding from his cloak and offers it towards you to act as a makeshift strap, just to tie it around either the barrel and the handle for you to shoulder it so you're not lugging it everywhere.
I will gladly snatch that. I appreciate that. Thank you. You're not as bad as I thought you were, as I then turn around and keep going.
And a few more implants and you would be acceptable as well. Now, it's at that moment, Constantine, what do you see? What happens? What's your awareness? How do you avoid something?
I noticed one of those sneaky little scarabs. And it's near like Errol, and I'm like, Errol, scarab, and he fucking stamps on it and smushes it, and I'm like, thank you, Errol.
I would tack onto that. Along this journey, you would be the first to point out that, yes, there are a growing number of these small scarab-like beetles making their way through the smaller gaps in the maintenance tunnels, and pointing them out. Either some of you would no doubt shoot them, others grapple them and break them apart, but you manage to get them quick enough that they don't seem to call for any reinforcements. Yes, there is a moment where one of them starts to glow like a Christmas tree, bright green. A few crackles of energy begin to ripple from its back, and just as it raises up on all six of its legs, either a shot goes through it or a combat knife skewers it to the floor. Which I guess ties into Severin. What happens? How do you assist in all this, Severin?
Well, as we're going through the corridors, There is a point where there's a junction, and one of the junctions opens into an area where there's open fighting between well, mostly unseen, but there are flashes of green light and the occasional tech heretic just being sheared in half and trying to take cover. It's the allies trying to take cover, and they're all just out there. And in the interest of keeping them occupied with each other, Severin notices that they're there and directs everyone to step off of the louder plating on the floor so they can bypass and allow them to continue delaying each other, essentially.
Awesome.
Including Errol. Even Errol. Right.
Got images of a tiptoeing Ogren now. Well, yeah, through the sounds of gunfire and gorse weaponry lashing around, you take a moment, easily guide the crew, the party, past the conflict and back onto your path. It's here where Quartus looks to you all.
Not much further now, but be mindful a few automated defenses may still be active along our path.
You eventually come out of the smaller confines of the maintenance tunnels into larger, grander chambers. They're all a little garish in style, lots of gold, brass, cogs, symbols of the Omnissiah, along with a incredibly large black and white checkered pattern that seems to just run the upper lengths of the room. It's here that you would see a few servitors, stationary gun servitors that have either been knocked out by the Necron incursion or who are in the process of just glitching out. Sparks flying from various sockets on them, their eyes rolling back, guns pointing in all directions. Some of them you can even hear the guns just clicking away as if they're trying to fire, but all ammunition's been long spent, judging by the holes and burn marks scattered across the wall. But Errol sees something. What happens here, Errol? Words. What happens here, Errol? Anything of interest, or is this further along that you help the crew out?
No. As I'm lumbering forward, Constantine's still on my back. A Mechanicus fella, quite what I would class as a young one. He's still got most of his fleshy bits. Comes out of a side tunnel, runs into the side of Errol, looks up, and before he can speak, Errol just grabs him across the mouth. He's like, go on.
What? Put it down. Where'd you get that from?
It ran into me. And he lifts it up by his head.
Does it have any marks on it?
I was about to say, first things first, Errol, roll me an athletics, an easy athletics. Oh my god!
Yeah.
You just easily just hoist him up, like, you know, almost between a finger and thumb as you just pick him up off the ground. This guy seems a lot different to the other Mechanicus you've seen. Rather than the stained red robes and the various sigils that you've seen on the other heretics, this one's wearing a black robe. And there is no doubt in your mind that...
Okay, I know exactly what this is.
This guy is... certainly part of the heretical faction. You see a large 8-pointed star that's been quite neatly sewn onto the front of this black gown. What mechanics are available or that you can see? seem to have this reddish purplish hued glow coming beneath them. So the iris on one of the eyes glows rather baleful. All of the one hand's mechanical, but the fingers end in wicked blades. And he seems as surprised to see you as you him, as he's just hoisted into the air. Errol, whatever you wish to do, you can do.
Constantine will just go, oh, it's a heretic. Give it the Emperor's judgment.
So the other hand goes up, grabs its body, and just twists head from body and pulls it off.
There's this... For a brief moment, this bionic screech as you twist him and just... Quartus looks around, looks at you, Errol, looks back at this dead heretic, back at you.
Effective. Rather effective. I approve.
Errol just has a big beaming grin on his face. He's done it good.
Ah, dear. So, with this corpse now tossed aside, Quartus leads you closer to the main cogitator.
Kept the head.
You've kept the head.
Not by choice. It's still in his hands. He's forgotten it's there.
Last stretch towards the main cogitator of Ark Venenatus, the Black Vault. The constant shifts and waves of psychic energy start to feel a little more unstable for you, Nathaniel. The moments that are quiet, when this relic seems to void all immaterial presence, is bliss. But when it's not working, when it's not kicked in, it starts to sound like the voices from beyond the warp are louder, angrier. There is definitely a tug of war occurring. Knowing this, what sort of weird and wonderful shit would occur that you either detect or help contain? What do you do?
Well, with the fight with the Necrons, Nathaniel got a brief glimpse at, I guess, the one pulling the strings. And right now, even with the warp acting the way it is, he wants to go as, I guess, as quiet against these guys as possible. So he's going to try and match his Geller field to the unstable warp.
Okay.
So it's not like, so it's not detected like running into like a wall or something. They could just easily walk through without being detected.
Absolutely. Yeah, you managed to time this field to coincide with the shifts and the ebbing. And I would dare say for the rest of the party, that maybe not Finley because he's ignorant as fuck.
Ignorance is bliss!
But for everyone else, there would be this constant feeling of either being watched or the hair on the back of your neck standing up, and then it would subside, and then a few minutes later it would start again. So you are all aware that something is at play. But with Nathaniel now starting to sink his own Gellerfield to the rise and fall of the Immaterium, it's a bit more comfortable for you all. You're not so much on edge. It would be at that moment, though, as you round another large chambered corner, you would see a door. Seems to be 10 meters or so high and 6 or so meters wide, gilded across the side, and a single skull. A servo skull sits just in the center of this door, the odd laser flicking out from its eye, looking for any Anyone approaching? Quartus turns to you all, motions a hand towards the door.
Venenatus Cogitator lies just beyond these chambers, though I expect there to be guards.
What kind of guards? Just
No servitors are allowed beyond this point, so if there are any inside, they will be either adepts or potential tech priests. Though one thing has garnered attention on this journey.
Quartus looks back to the door and then back to you all.
If the cogitators were fully compromised, then all station defenses would be hostile, which they are, yes? You agree?
yes, they're very hostile. Yeah, they shot at us.
Another life support is still in effect, so that has not been compromised. Correct?
Correct. Where you getting that, Quartus?
There are 3 cogitators that govern system status on board Ark Venenatus. The one belonging to life support of the station and all defenses is hostile. The other is just for general power routing administration. Power has been fine. No fluctuations, and even machine spirits have done as we have asked of them. Correct?
Correct.
My judgment is that the cogitator that governs support, life support, weapons, defenses, has been corrupted, though others may remain stable. Mayhaps, if we speak to the cogitators, they may give more insight into issues we can fix and perhaps even...
He pauses for a moment, listens to the sound of gunfire.
Perhaps even turn them or nullify them with regards to our heretical visitors.
So we might be able to find a way to turn the defenses back onto our side, yeah?
Potentially, yes. But, depending on current guards, we shall see.
He points
How about
toward-
this, Quartus? We'll deal with the guards, and you see if you can fix some shit, yeah?
I find this agreeable.
Wonderful. The Emperor protects.
The Omniscire guides.
And with that, he'll put his arms into his robe, make his way towards the door, stand towards this small servo skull. Not even waiting for any response or, for you to get into position. He just immediately sets off, walks to the door. The servo skull starts to scan him. You hear an exchange in Benaric, giving you all 5 or 6 seconds just to quickly organise yourselves.
I'll take a couple of bounding steps to the side of the door.
Basically, beyond this door lies the cogitator, and in whatever is guarding it will be in there. So, Errol, you take position by the door. What's the rest of you doing?
Well, I'm strapped to the back of Errol, so... Yep.
Nathaniel's gonna pretty much stay behind Errol.
Finley? Severin?
I'm just gonna step back. I'm gonna let stand back there with Nathaniel.
Okay. So at the moment, the way it's looking, as this servo skull's scanning and having a conversation in Benaric to Quartus, you've got Errol stood by the door, shield ready, ripper gun in hand, Constantine on his back, Nathaniel, Finley, Severin, where are you?
Severin is going to take a position on the other side of the door from where Errol is. Because he, as much as he would like to be behind Tonk, we just can't all be there in case they if they open up, we need to have multiple positions. But he is going to have a smoke grenade ready, and he's going to wait until he gets the ability to see in and can toss that and give them some cover so they can approach.
When I see Severin pull out a smoke grenade, I'll use battle can, which is just kind of like hand signals for smoke, flash, and clear. And I'm going to pull out my my flash grenade.
Oh, I'm going to see everyone getting grenades ready, so I'm going to get the head ready as well.
It's at that moment you begin to hear heavy hydraulic hisses, the sound of cogs turning as the servo skull in the door goes silent, and all of a sudden locks disengage and the door begins to swing, like a double door swings wide open. Quartus has stood there in the open, arms raised high. Praise be to the Omnisire! And at that the door boom, opens up and you are met with an incredibly loud room. A constant hiss of hydraulics, of pipes, of steam, the humming of electricals. At the far end of the room, this giant metal skull sits with two smaller ones off to the side. Those are the first thing that get your attention. The second would be the 6 or 7 Mechanicus heretics who are just completely gobsmacked at seeing the doors open and this tech priest stood there shouting, "Praise be to the Omnisire." They don't get a chance to react as you're all stood there ready. What happens? Let's go for it. Just go for it. I'm not even gonna. In fact, let's have some rolls just to guide how well it all goes. Errol, throwing ahead, athletics. Let's go for easy. Anyone else throwing grenades, just go for athletics. Anyone shooting, just roll me a range check.
I still have a grenade.
Yeah. Whatever everyone's doing, just roll an appropriate check, and we'll use this as a guide for the duration. I've got a feel.
Grenade.
Regardless, you've got. So go on.
Psychic mastery, couldn't I?
If you want to, absolutely, you can do whatever you want. You've got the drop on them. They are just generic-looking heretic adepts who are sat at cogitators and consoles. There is no way these folks can stand against you as you are basically breaching, clearing a door. Coupled with the fact that they've just seen this other tech priest at the door shouting, "Praise be." It's a slaughter, but using those rolls, just paint the picture for us. So, Errol, you're first up as the doors open with this head in hand. What do you do?
I throw it at one of the guys, but I let go too late, and it just goes splat into the floor in front of him, and the head just disintegrates into a bloody pulp.
The adept looks down at this head that was there for a minute and then looks back up at you, Errol. Whatever flesh is visible, if it wasn't already pale, it would be. As it then no doubt sees you step into the room, shield, Ripper at the ready. But we'll come back to that in a moment. Constantine, for your initial opener, how does it look?
Well, after all, it would have been a great, wonderful, tactical photon flash grenade. But our friend Quartus is in front of us, and in his excitement, his mechadendrite is flailing about, and a pip slaps it out the way. Luckily enough, it goes off behind us, so none of us are fucking flanked.
So at the door, people see this priest with his arms up, head comes flying in, then this flash of light that illuminates you all. Like, the cool guys don't look at explosions. You're like the harbingers of doom that have arrived with the crackle of thunder behind you. All right, yeah. Severin, what does your opener look like?
So, Quartus is there, arms splayed, and the way that I'm imagining the flash goes off behind him, and this other grenade is rolling past him all the way into the room. So as it goes, it's like unfurling this wave of smoke. So it's like a quasi like religious hallucination that these guys are having right now, because there's the flash, he's there, he has his arms up, and then it just starts getting smoked out, like almost from him directly at them, and it smokes out the room. And before Severin is following through the smoke with his las pistols ready.
Uh-huh.
But that's how far he's gotten. Yeah.
Excellent. Finley, what about you? How do you add to this scene?
So Finley unhooks one of his actual grenades, and seeing as Constantine dinked his grenade off the mechadendrite of our friendly tech priest, he's like, oh, I've got a great idea. And so he uses the mechadendrite while it's flailing around and throws the grenade so it bounces off the mechadendrite and rolls into a corner where some of these heretics are, and just as they're all praying, the grenade just kind of rolls up into their feet as it's about to explode.
So those who were praying at the corner of one of the cogitators just sees this grenade roll. There's a quick Benaric gasp. It's more, not so much a gasp, more of just the sound of static fear. Nathaniel, what do you do to close this intro out?
So, keeping in mind of where Finley has tossed his grenade, he's going to scan the room for pretty much anyone that's not going to be caught in the blast.
Mm-hmm.
And he's essentially just going to melta beam these guys with his hands. His hands are going to start glowing like red hot and then white as just bolts of fire shoot out and envelop these guys.
Excellent. So, we'll close it out. So, basically, as soon as the door opens, there's a shout of, Praise be the Omnisire! Flash, smoke. Through the smoke, a grenade clatters against the corner. There's 3 individuals who are caught in the blast of it. Errol then charges forth from the smoke, shield, ripper gun in hand, followed closely by Severin. In front of Errol is a heretic. In front of you, Severin, there is another heretic. Constantine, with you on Errol's back, you spot a 5th, and then last but not least, Finley, as you also push into the room along with Nathaniel behind you. You both see a couple of others. So, in that case, since Errol's going in first, Errol, you get a couple of what's initially 7 turns out to be more like 10. So, you get a couple of these heretics to yourself. What do you do to them?
I punch forward with my slab shield and catch them both in the head. Well, one's taller than the other, so I take one's head clean off of the neck, and I catch the other one in the jaw and just split his skull in 2.
Awesome. Severin, you're the next in through the smoke. A couple of individuals stand in front of you. What do you do?
The tried and true putting las bolts through their midsections is what Severin does. Just the robes catch fire and begin smoldering as they crumple, and he just sweeps into the room looking for anybody who might be wriggling away or trying to call for help or anything like that to silence them so that they can't summon reinforcements.
Constantine, whilst on the back, Errol's just crumped 2 people. What are you doing?
Well, like a knight on his steed, he has to guard his flanks. So one comes up beside it, tries to bayonet charge fucking Errol, and runs like, doesn't see the chainsword come thrusting at his face as he's trying to bayonet this ogre. Just runs straight Face first into a fucking chainsaw.
Just say, "Ah," before it just drops to the ground. Excellent. Finley. As your grenade detonates in the corner, you see 3 bodies ragdoll through the air, clattering against the cogitators and consoles. One impacts into the floor, unmoving, but you still see another 2 individuals off to the side. What do you do?
Well, he's already got Willbreaker at the ready, and as everyone's breaching in, he peeks the corner and lets Willbreaker fly loose, striking each of them in the chest, dropping them low.
Crack of Lasgun drops another 2, which then brings us lastly to Nathaniel for the last poor souls who are still stood. What happens?
He's just gonna glance over at them, seeing all this destruction just right upon their friends. One of them is gonna try and run. Nathaniel's just gonna snap his fingers, and immediately blue and purple warp fire just engulf this man. And for the last one, he's just gonna walk over to him. He's gonna basically ignite a flame in his hand and grab the guy's face.
Oh.
Just melting it completely.
With a heavy thud, the last body of the heretic drops to the ground, and you are left with the sound of sparking augmetics, the odd binaric noise coming from the vox in some of these dead adepts, and it's then you would hear this, what sounds to be 3 voices all at once, burst out from this large skull at the end of the room. One voice you would hear,
Interlopers in the chambers. Guards. Guards!
Second voice,
You fool! They are not interlopers. They are here to assist.
the last voice that seemed to be mixed in through these others, a lot more deeper, slower. It sounds old.
Rare it would be for the Inquisition to make their way to this station. The fact that we still stand is a blessing from the Omnissiah himself. Pray tell, are you here as saviors or executioners?
And it's there. We'll call a quick, be right back. And refill our drinks. I'll also take a moment to finally get round to addressing chat. Dear me. Mr. Bobnot, welcome in. Welcome in. I'm glad you've been enjoying you pariahs and binging that. It was certainly a big chunk of time. Durs has got me already on the refill of the P. Thank you very much, Durs. I appreciate it. Also, Prepper Jack, good to see you again. Hello, hello. Oh, God damn it. Damn it, Jack. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 5,000 bits. Just rain. Just sat there throwing the bits. I appreciate it, but thank you very much. So yeah, necrobodies hit the floor, necrobodies hit the floor, necrobodies hit the floor, necrobodies hit the rah. Bit of drowning pool. I approve. I know, just casually walks in, throws his wallet. But yeah, I'm going to grab a drink, everyone. I'm going to refill on the rum and the water. So we will be but a moment. Let's put that on. All right. One moment. I've returned.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Ta.
Welcome back.
Ta. Oh.
Also,
Go on. Also.
this isn't fucking right at all.
What's up?
Hold. There you go. You can't just throw fucking 5,000 bits in and not have a fucking sub.
Do you know what's funny as well? Is I'm gonna call you out, Prepper. Just, you know, this the English banter. He's like, oh, I'm gonna sub once, twice. I'm gonna throw, 5,000 bits. And it wasn't until a couple of days ago that he actually followed me. I'm not gonna follow this guy. Fuck that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but honestly, Prep, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Fuck following that guy. I like what he does, but I'm not interested.
In my time, Cutberg. In my time.
Just like throwing feet at the animals at the zoo.
Dance, monkey, dance. It's all done from a place of love, though. Thank you. All right. Are we all back?
Indeed.
I think so.
Excellent.
You haven't heard shade.
I'm here.
All right, yep.
With these voices ringing out, Quartus immediately bows his head in reverence towards this ancient cogitator, or cogitators. It's paying me to quit. just end stream. What do you all do as these three distinct voices ring out from the Voxcaster in front of these cogitators? It doesn't take a genius to understand that these are not just
normal cogitators because they're thinking people. And I'm like, well, Quartus, you said they were cogitators.
Quartus doesn't move from his bowed position, but the lead voice, the slower, more ancient one, rings out.
For that is what we are now. Come.
No, that is what you do.
Step inside. I will override protocols and lock these doors so that we may talk.
Whilst it says this, you see the one on your right, this giant metal skull, the eyes, or should I say eyes, the sensors that seem to jut from the eye sockets are glowing red, then a slight hint of purple, back to red, and the noise and voice coming out of this cogitator just seems to be half scrambled, half mad. It just seems to be in a loop of,
Interlopers, fools! Guards, bring them to their knees! Destroy them, burn them!
and it's just a constant loop. And judging from what you see, if one of the cogitators was on the fritz, it's definitely that one.
It's going to be Quartus. Stop bowing, Quartus.
Ah, understood.
And with that, Quartus straightens himself, offers a single nod one last time to the cogitators, and steps into the room. The rest of you step in? Or does anyone go outside?
Thing. We're probably going to step in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Severin's going to step in. He doesn't like the idea of being in the room sealed with this malfunctioning cogitator, but he also doesn't like the idea of being out there if, like, death robots start teleporting in.
Alright. There's a heavy hiss of switches, hydraulics, cogs that begins to whine behind the doors as they seal, with a heavy clang behind you. Quartus looks over towards you, Constantine.
The three revered elders of Ark Venenatus.
He motions a hand towards the array.
Quartus, I'm no Magos, but one of these is not like the others.
The voice from the central one booms out once again.
I am happy to see the deductive skills of the Inquisition are, well, haven't been lost over the centuries. You would be correct in said assumption.
Okay, well, since we can just have a fucking conversation with the thing, this might be easier than we thought. Can we take that one offline?
It is possible. Yes, and regrettably, this Magos has fallen to the machinations of the Ark enemy. Corrupted code has flooded his systems and mind.
And you other two aren't affected at all? You weren't targeted?
Oh, we have been targeted. Hence.
And there's a flicker from the lights that glows for a moment, illuminating the room at all of the dead bodies across the ground.
But it would seem their efforts have been thwarted.
Oh. Just in time, as the Emperor wills it.
The Omnisire came to us in our hour of need, in the guise of you.
Okay, so how can you help us?
There is very little that I can currently do whilst my associate is in charge of the defensive systems. His removal may mean I can take on the computational processes for defense.
You don't mean, you mean actual removal, right?
There's no response. Roll me a logic check. Easy.
Okay.
Probably. But having a quick glance over this ancient array in front of you, there's
I wouldn't know how to.
there's no on and off switch. There's a multitude of wires that extend from all of these casings, and the casings themselves, these giant skulls, seem to be incredibly well armored. But I would say with that roll, you would certainly understand that these are cogitation arrays with a Magos's brain in the center, controlling everything. And they are probably very old.
Okay,
Which one of you is keeping us breathing?
What's that saying?
Which one of you is keeping us breathing in here?
That is a good question. That would be my frenzied associate, though it is not for your benefit. That is due to the fact that the heretics that were in here require air, just as you, for their...
Oh, there goes putting him down.
I mean, does it? Because he said he could take up the tasks of his friend once he was removed, and I'll do removed in air quotations.
The third voice would then chime in.
Removal of third associate would put all processing for research on hold. Not acceptable. Replacement is required.
Nathana's going to speak up just for a moment. Could we not simply cleanse this taint from this machine?
You would hear static, loud static, to the point where it's almost ear-piercing. Not just from the cogitators, but from Quartus as well. Anyone been around? Anyone been around Mechanicus for a while?
I mean, we used to have that other. Anybody remember that older guy?
If Mechanicus could laugh, if they found something, I guess, entertaining, this is usually the sound they would make. Obviously, the third cogitator's not laughing. That's still,
Death! Kill them! Intruders! Interlopers!
just on loop. Just spitting constantly.
Well, that answered that question.
Answer me this. Inquisition. Those who are touched by the taint of the Ark enemy. Are they cleaned? Brought to service, brought to heal? Or be they expunged from existence? What your associate suggests is heresy.
Okay.
In fact, what you do here is take things that are touched by Xenos and others and store them instead of destroy them.
The third one chimes in at this.
Research is necessary. Understanding the Xeno brings reason for their downfall. Knowing is half the battle.
Which, in and of itself, is quite a radical. To the Imperium at large, could be seen as heretical.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, well, we're in this mess because people wanted to understand, correct?
The large booming voice from the central cogitator echoes in acknowledgement.
You are correct.
And some things are better left forgotten.
The issue still remains of our third associate. A point has been lodged. Replacement better than termination of all services.
And where are we going to find a replacement? That isn't corrupted?
Severin is just trying really hard not to look at Cordus.
I think everybody's giving Cordus a side eye right now.
Finley's gonna tap Cordus on the shoulder. Might be time for you to ascend. As he just slowly backs away, just after whispering that into his ear.
I am sadly not of position to accept this ascension, my lords.
Bows towards the cogitator. At that, you would hear the third one just shout,
Heretical! Useless! Failure! Defective! End your existence now! Pay it no mind. Tech Priest. It seems we have very few options at our disposal. Is this what the Inquisition demands?
I'm gonna look at everybody. Just give it. Just feel out what everybody's feeling. You know, just give everybody the look of. Well,
Finley being, even though Finley's like, well, it's me, it's his time to ascend, being a little bit of a shit that he is. Hey, he has been useful. With him being here, are we even going to be able to make our way back? He has been invaluable in us getting to this point.
I mean, if he's
But at the same
installed,
point-
we'll have full control of all of the systems.
Ooh.
All of the systems.
Which means we could turn the defenses on our little shiny friends and also the rest of the heretics that are in here.
Exactly.
I like the sound of that.
Well, Cordus, I think that this is more of a question of how much of a team player you are. if this is what you want to do, because installing another machine that goes, another mind that just goes mad from rage isn't going to help anything.
If it is the will of the Omnissiah to install me within the most blessed cogitator of Ark Venenatus, then who am I to decline? It would be a honor for one such as I, lowly position as I, to be in the presence of such ancient personas. Tell me, I assume one of you has medical expertise, yes?
And with that, Quartus will start looking around at the group.
Rudimentary? Why?
Simple, the transference of a brain into the cogitation array requires strict adherence.
We have to put your brain in there?
Yes.
Tilts his head to the side questioningly. You know, that expression of, well, duh.
I think that's kind of why they're also shaped like skulls, is there's actually, you know, the soft parts in there.
Shit. I mean, well, Severin's got the delicate hands, I guess. You got steady fingers, right, Severin?
Oh, yes, I could definitely put a brain inside that thing. Doing it the way that they want it done is another matter. Let's just take a moment here. I don't suppose you have... The problem is that Quartus here is the only... Not even really the problem, but the situation is Quartus is the only Adeptus Mechanicus priest other than you two that isn't potentially or most likely corrupted by whatever's going on. So unless you have a brain bank of waiting participants, we have very few options.
As is always the way or the will of the Omnissiah. The path has been shown. Dualis here is to be decommissioned as a defective piece of hardware. Quartus will assume the role, life support, and defenses therefore elevated to Magos of Ark Venenatus. That is the only logical route, the only route that has been laid out by the will of the Omnissiah.
Quartus would look back at the large cogitator as it says this, and then back to you all.
I am honored to accept it, but I understand your potential plight in this. But have no fear. The fact that you have brought me out of this recursive nightmare has not been lost on me, and I am familiar to the tricks that the heretics are employing. I am certain I would be able to stave off any potential problems. Unless, of course, they were to gain access to this chamber, as has happened to Magos Dualis there.
Well, we don't really have a lot of options here, so Do or die, Emperor Protect. Can you talk us through the procedures?
Only up until the requirement of severing my neural cortex to my vessel, yes.
Great.
Would not the ancient cogitators also have this knowledge as well?
Knowledge is not the issue. Practice and experience in the physical realm is the problem. I am unable to extract my...
Pauses for a moment, trying to mull the words.
brain would be the best word to use for you, from my own body. I can prepare things, get much set up, but it will take a while. But the handling of my brain and cogitation arrays that extend from there would be down to your delicate fingers.
El just looks at those massive two-tongue fingers on his hand.
Just got to pat him on the head. No, Errol, it's okay.
I'm not going to lie, part of me would love to see Errol just pluck a brain out of a skull and just slap it into a jar.
Just feed it to one of those skulls on the machine.
Well, so Severin, hearing all this, is gonna get his knife out and start sharpening it.
Nice. Fuck it, looks like we're doing this.
Alright.
By the sharpening of said implement, I understand that you are all in approval of installing me as the new Magos of life support and defense for Ark Venenatus, yes?
Yes, what could possibly go wrong?
Yep.
Marvelous.
Orders,
And
unless you have another option that you're withholding, seems to be the only thing we have.
Roll me a... I'm going to say an intuition check. Just challenging intuition, Severin. You get the impression that even if there is a better way, the fact that Quartus is basically about to be elevated to the rank of Magos to become part of a station is a huge honor for him.
So what Severin's going to say is, keep in mind that your field promotion might be only posthumous if this goes sideways. So bear that in mind.
Roll me a rapport check. Challenging. In fact, this is going to be difficult, actually. It would be pretty difficult to convince him otherwise. So yeah, roll me a difficult rapport check.
I appreciate your concern,
So said to the side.
but I believe this be the will of the Omnissiah. Yes, if this goes awry, then perhaps we are all doomed. But if this succeeds, then...
And he just stops talking after that. His eyes flicker briefly. A few lights click on as he processes some things, but they aren't vocalized.
Given the fact that if we fail, and the glitching cogitator is the one that controls life support, it is going to be picked up by another cogitator, right?
I believe so, yes.
But we don't know for sure.
Silence. From both the cogitators and Quartus.
It's cold comfort that we know that the heretics won't be able to breathe either if something goes wrong.
Then before we do that, I'm going to talk to the big cogitator. I'm guessing one of you controls any communications?
Communications and power are of my domain.
The slightly smaller one to the left. You see the eyes flicker as it speaks.
Day-to-day runnings are under my control.
Wonderful. There's a rogue trader in orbit. And he's going to pull out his data slate with all the information on. I'd like you to, Vox, use my sigil to securely Vox transmit this to the Inquisitor in orbit. Thank you.
A trifling matter, easily done, even amongst all of this interference. Hold.
You see the lights turn off. And then you would hear a familiar voice start to come through. Who on earth is... Hello?
You know, Inquisitor, I liked you a whole lot more when you were an interrogator. Do you know that?
Ah, Constantine. May I inquire as to how you managed to connect through to my personal communications device? In fact, that doesn't matter. Go on.
We're in control of the main cogitators of the station, or will be shortly. You should have received a data post with all relevant information that we've gained so far.
Yes, I have been waiting for your... She paused for a moment and you would hear an audible bleep through the comms as the data's sent. I was wondering why I had not heard anything from the away team in a while. Just to let you know, I did dispatch 3 other teams who, in fact, should have made their way there roughly half an hour to an hour ago. And she pauses as she starts to go over the details. Is this all correct?
Yes. Yes. All of it. Everything from heretics to Xenos and everything in between. Oh, don't forget the temporal fucking problems that we've been having with and our personal fucking Gellerfield.
Errol, sweetheart.
Metal men.
Now go on,
Hello,
you
lady.
first. You first, metal
Oh,
men.
Metal men. Metal men.
Yes, I see... Are you all right?
I'm good.
Good.
Con's
Good.
not.
Oh, is he? Why? What happened?
His leg.
Constantine, you are constantly a disappointment to me. how is the Finley? Are you there?
Yes.
Anything to report on your end? Are you all right regarding the Xenos incursion?
They were dealt with. Definitely don't want to get hit by the weapons. We were able to retrieve one. I've got it with me. We're gonna bring it back for you.
Oh, marvelous.
The away teams that we had were getting swarmed by green things, they said. But the communication is fucked while we're here.
Yes, I am aware. The other teams that I sent to reinforce them also haven't reported back since making their way onto the station. Last but not least, Severin, have you had to put a bolt through that psyker's brain? Has he been all right? He's still there, isn't he?
He is, not as of yet. And he's been, though I'm loath to say it, he's been instrumental in allowing us to progress this far. On the Xenos, they are not handled yet. They are still here. As you'll see in the notes that were sent, that planet down there is a hive for these things. And if they can teleport past void shields, they might be able to board the vessel.
Right. In that case, a decision must be made quickly. Is this place redeemable? Worthwhile?
The station? Possibly. The planet? Absolutely not. My recommendation is exterminatus of the planet and towing of this facility to safer space.
Ooh. Roll me a report check. I'm going to give you a +1 success level due to your close relationship with Vittoria, Inquisitor Vittoria.
Difficulty challenging, yeah?
Yep, challenge him with 1 success level. Regrettably, at this moment in time, this is not for me to discuss on unsecure channels broadcasting to a heretical facility, but exterminatus at this moment in time is not possible. Shit.
Finley's gonna chime in. I second what Constantine says. If we don't get rid of that planet and move this station afterwards, we're gonna be dealing with whatever the hell Xenos these are, and it's just gonna once we deal with this, I have a feeling we're gonna be swarmed on our way out.
Noted, Finley, but I will say the fact that exterminatus is currently not physically possible. You get the roll me a logic check, please. An easy logic check, Finley. You've never heard of Aldona ever doing an exterminatus before. And it's possibly due to the fact that, considering you're on a small light cruiser, the warheads required for such an endeavour...
we don't have enough cyclonics and atomics.
Correct. With such a small vessel, you just do not have the firepower to crack a world. Hence why exterminatus can't be issued.
And then Constantine has an idea. If we can't save the station, and we don't have the firepower to crack the planet, what if you use the station to crack the planet?
My words to you, Constantine. Do you believe the station is worth destruction of said planet? Well, technically moon, but same thing. I'll give you all a moment to discuss that.
If we stop this device, it might stop whatever's happening with the planet below. What's causing them to... It's getting their notice. If we turn it off somehow or destroy it, they might go back into whatever sleep they're in so that we have more time to deal with them.
Am I able to... And with that, she pauses for a moment, and... Who's got a data slate?
I do.
Your data slate would ping with information. That's regarding all of the... Well, not all of the, but... a file containing generalized information on the Necron civilization. If you wish to peruse it quickly,
Yeah, I'm going to start speed reading.
roll me a law check. Easy. Speed reading that much information is proved difficult. She has probably sent you more than you needed. The main thing...
A lot of this is useless shit.
Yeah. But I would say that the general consensus that you would come to, Constantine, is that there seems to be no rhyme or reason with the Necrons. Once they've awoken, you quickly scan through, and it seems to be every single time a Tomb World's awoken, there is conflict. And 9 times out of 10, it seems to end up involving the Imperial Guard or the Astartes. There aren't, as you scan through the documents, there aren't many occurrences where the Necrons have gone, all right, cool, thanks, we'll go back to sleep now.
In that case, Constantine's just going to be like, okay, securing this facility and keeping it secure is not feasible.
I mean, given the fact that we've seen them just materialize on this station, what's to stop them from doing that again and again?
Exactly. We have no way of knowing the size of the Tomb World that we've awoken.
Well, also if it's even really awoken, and these aren't just like the Night Watch.
I'm open to ideas.
So,
can this facility move on its own? Does it have its own propulsion?
Yeah, absolutely. Most stations have the ability to reposition themselves in orbits, so there would be various thrusters aboard that would allow it to move. So yes, it would be an option to change its orbit so it came crashing down on the moon below. But again, above table, how you approach this, what you want to do is entirely now up to you. Whether you want to, try and approach.
Can we move it out of orbit?
Away
from the planet?
It probably wouldn't have enough propulsion to move it out of orbit. The propulsion it would be enough propulsion to keep it in orbit. But if you kicked out the various thrusters, the navigation, it would eventually just be pulled into the moon by its gravitational pull. Due to the sheer size of these things. So yeah, getting out of orbit, not possible. At the moment, it's remained in orbit due to the various thrusters, but if you cut them, it would just plummet into the moon. Which is what the second cogitator does. That's part of its job as general power, day-to-day run-ins, maintenance, so on and so forth.
In that case, I'm going to turn to the big cogitator and be like, is there anything on this station powerful enough to deal with that moon?
Ooh. That
because
sounds...
this isn't just a fucking spaceship. This is a big old fucking Mechanicus fortress.
I think that would be a difficult report check.
Difficult report.
Mm-hmm. And you do have a point of fate. Go on, Finley. Before you roll.
I was gonna say, can Finley kind of help modify that by any way by impressing upon the big cogitators that
Go on.
if you don't have anything big enough, we're gonna have to crash said station into the planet.
I will allow you, in that case, Finley, if you wish, to spend your fate points to affect Constantine's roll.
I will burn my last fate point for this.
I think you've only spent one so far, I believe.
Oh no, I've spent 2.
Oh, have you? Oh.
Mm-hmm. I'm willing to burn my last fate point for this.
Okay. In that case, then, if you wish to spend a fate point, I will give Constantine +2 success levels to the roll. And then Constantine can also spend any fate on that roll with the +2 if he needs to.
I will spend a fate point to give me advantage.
Okay, so advantage with +2 success levels.
What was the difficulty again?
It was a difficult report check.
Where did that roll?
Did you have add the +2 to that?
Yeah. I only saw it roll once though. It says advantage. But...
Yeah. So the way advantage works in Imperium Maledictum is instead of it rolling 2 dice, it just flips the numbers around.
But I rolled double 5, so 55 is 55.
You can spend 1 more to re-roll if you have any fate points left.
Yeah,
and I will keep you the +2.
How many fate? Yeah. I've got 1 more fate point. Yeah.
Can I spend a fate point so he can save his?
What do you do to influence this roll? What do you say?
Well, Severin is going to walk in front of the big computer because he doesn't understand. Like, to him, he's looking at this thing and, like, this is the guy, and it's logically not there, but the situation is this. Your entire station is overrun. You two are, gesturing to the 2 heads, are the last holdouts in the actual station besides Quartus here that haven't been corrupted. It's being overrun by Xenos from the moon below. Either your work and research, looking at the 3rd head, is going to fall into enemy hands in the form of heretics, or be eviscerated or corrupted by the very thing that you're studying. In order to prevent this, we need something that will stop them. And it would be a damn shame to go through all the trouble of stopping what's going on the station only to lose it still.
That is logical. And that is the language that the Mechanicus speak, is just pure logic. With Finley, Severin backing up Constantine. Severin, if you wish to spend that fate point, I will allow Constantine to automatically succeed.
I've spent it.
In that case, Constantine, for a brief moment, you see all of the lights from the central cogitator and the second turn off. They flicker a few times as they begin to compute various outcomes, and eventually the lights begin to flick back on. Central cogitator regards you, Constantine, for a moment.
There are several warheads from ages past, located deep within Vault Alpha, capable of cracking planets previously used in the past on Blackstone fortresses. Relics from a time long gone. 3 remain in our possession.
You have 3 warheads capable of cracking Blackstone fortresses.
That's what he said.
For anyone who's aware, this is ancient archaeotech. Stuff from beyond, before the dark age of technology. This is the Grand Crusade level stuff. And hence why they are locked away in a black vault.
All right. Well, first things first. Quartus, when you're ready.
Quartus just looks.
I assume that by when you're ready you mean to begin the procedure, yes?
Yes, that's... See, there's a multi-point plan now, which is get you your field promotion, stop the Magos here, then stop the damn Xenos down there.
I see. Understood. It will take me a little bit of time to prep the procedure, but since we are not going anywhere, I guess the best phrase would be to entertain yourselves.
Great.
The comlink to Inquisitor Aldona has still been active this entire time. And she's just been listening in on this. And for a moment you just hear... So that is the conclusion you've all come to, yes? We raid the vaults of this station and remove the threat moonside.
Yes.
Very well. Is there anything you require from us in orbit, Constantine?
There's one
Wood.
thing.
Oh, go on.
If you can get a comm link with a ship medic, maybe a brain surgeon, that would be fantastic.
Funnily enough, if I remember rightly, there is a Magos Biologicus aboard the ship.
There is.
So, hold on but a moment, because I need to find a portrait for someone.
Oh god.
Nice. We're about to get Shadeception. It's gonna be
It
great.
is indeed going to be Shadeception. That is exactly what we're doing here. There is a few minutes of silence on the comms while Inquisitor Aldona begins to radio or vox through the ship. Quartus is in the process of going through several motions on the cogitator and consoles to begin the procedure. You would hear a lot of whining and whirring from various seals on the corrupted Magos. Eventually, a loud hiss as the top of the skull is lifted upwards. The hydraulic rams that bring it up whine, perhaps never being used in over 100, 200, maybe even more years. All the while, this third cogitator is just screaming obscenities, shouting for the death of the heathens, the heretics who dare impose upon its sacred duty. But eventually, the red glowing eyes of Magos Dualis cease. You would witness Quartus step up towards the open brain pan of the cogitator skull, and in spite of it being heretical and corrupted, he still quite reverently begins to disconnect a multitude of plugs and connectors to this brain before raising it up in the air, thanking it for its service, and then turns to you all.
And, what am I to do with the previous Magos?
He's just stood there looking at you all with his brain in both of his hands.
Errol!
Who's gone?
That's a heretic's brain, Errol. Deal with it for me.
Take it and just clap it in between both hands.
Brain matter just splats across your palms, across the room. Who's close to Errol at this point? Roll me reflexes.
Well, I'm behind Errol, so I'm using Errol as a splash card.
Anyone close by, roll me an easy reflexes check, please. Neither. Severin, you're the only one who's covered in, or you at least get pieces of brain matter splayed towards you. What do you do?
He gets hit with the brain matter because he's right there next to Cordus, and he just gets hit by it. He doesn't move. He just stood there, brain matter because it's hit. He's clapping it between his hands, so it's basically like this, like almost like a line going out all from his palms out, like it's like a shockwave of just brain. So it just hits him across the chest, like crossways across the chest, and he's just now got brain matter on him. And he doesn't look especially pleased, but there's the fact that he was probably going to have, he's literally about to have like, deal with brain matter and stuff, so he's been steeling himself against it for a moment here.
With that done, Quartus, you can't really gauge the expression due to the fact that he's mostly augmetics and metal. But he returns to his work, and it would be at this point a familiar voice is broadcast across the Vox link. Who is that familiar voice, Nathaniel? Or should I say, not Nathaniel? Who is it?
That's if I can remember. Holy shit.
Can anyone remember his old character name?
It begin with a T.
I can't remember.
Was it Norris or something like that?
Tor
No, that was
Sabo.
the,
Tor Sabo.
There we go.
That's the one. There you
There
go.
was a T.
It's all right, you know. I'll don't worry, Shade. I've got you. You can't even remember your
I
old
appreciate
character. So the voice
How many weeks
of.
it's
Sorry, go on.
You know how many weeks it's been since I played him?
The voice of Magos biologist Tor Sabo comes through the comlink. Shade, I'm going to let you be the voice of this individual, but I'm going to roll the dice for you.
Okay.
So, with that, how does Tor greet the people?
I assume you're not calling for your combat servitors experience.
No. The
What's my,
the shorthand is we have a tech priest here who's receiving a promotion to Magos, but it involves putting his brain case in a cogitator. And there's nobody down here qualified to do that. But this is the situation we're in.
Field promotion to Magos. May the Omnissiah guide you.
See, that's the spirit.
All right, I will give you the assistance that I can.
Yes, that's all I really can ask. And
Who
I
is
think it'll
this?
Hmm?
Who is this this field promoted Magos?
At that, you would hear,
This is Data Preserver Quartus. It is a honor to make your acquaintance, Magos Biologist Tor Sabo.
Well, you are no longer a mere data preserver unit. You are now a Magos yourself.
Your words honor me, Magos, and I appreciate the words. The current status of the procedure is as follows. I have removed the old, defective, heretical units from the case and about to begin shutdown of my own primary systems to allow those gathered to extract my own brain case for insertion.
Wonderful. It sounds like things are going according to plan then.
Unfortunately, not according to the Omnissiah's wish exactly, but we do what we can, my Magos.
Yes, well,
Before you
once
shut-
Cornus is offline, I'll need to if there's anything that arises, I'll need your advice or your instruction for anything that needs to follow.
Yes, of course. And please do be careful. You will be holding a Magos' mind in your hands.
I'm going to say this now, just above table. Shade, I am so glad that your old character took... that you took Forbidden Medicae as a skill.
Oh, no.
So, after the exchange is done, you would all witness Quartus begin to make preparations. The brain from the old cogitator removed, he starts to disrobe. It's not a slow procedure. He would take his sensor out, waft it over the cogitation array where his brain is to be implanted, offering hymns in Benaric. Granted, him being naked, not truly naked, he is mostly machine at this point. There's only a few parts of flesh that remain on this man, that being his torso and thighs. The rest of him seems to be truly augmented. Metal feet, metal arms, spine, all the way up to his head. What you first would assume to be a mask, as he disrobes, you would see that his entire head is just augmented metal. So if nothing else, you get the impression that pulling his brain out of his head's not going to be the true gory experience first thought. It seems that this is not the first rodeo this man's had at having his brain taken out of his skill. Skill? Skull. Shadow, we'll have to have a chat, mate. Yeah. Half an hour passes as the hymns are sung, preparations are made, and eventually Quartus begins to kneel down in front of the third cogitation array.
I am ready to proceed, Magos Biologus, and for those gathered, the Omnissiah guides.
You would see that the red lights that once lit up Quartus's mask just turn off. His body goes limp, not to the point of it falling to the floor lifeless, but just in a stiff prayer position. All of his joints now locked in this kneeling position in front of the cogitator, ready for what's to come. But before we get into what's to come, shall we have one last break?
Oh, God, yes.
Sure.
All right. In that case, we will be right back whilst I refill the old water. Won't be a moment. not going to lie, brain surgery was not one thing I had on my cards, or bringing Tor in today, or even being able to contact the Inquisitor. Well played.
Just playing it off the cuff, you know.
Yeah.
As always.
Yeah. Yeah, this was certainly not the outcome I was expecting to for you guys to overcome the defenses issue. it's smart, Ravon. I appreciate it. Blow the planet up. I mean, that's kind of, you know, originally I was like, yeah, you know, the only option they've got is blow the planet up, or in fact, no, I don't even think I initially had the planet blowing up as a thing, because there just wasn't the firepower on the cruiser. So
Hey, we normally burn cities down.
yeah, well, this sounds
I
like,
can
well,
save something for a change.
I was like, yeah, well, they can't burn the city down because Aldona's not got the firepower. Ha ha. But you yeah, turn the tables. I appreciate it and approve. That's if, you know, this procedure goes as planned.
Shan't find out.
Yeah.
Hopefully that specking into forbidden knowledge will.
Well, the fact that you've got Tor in straight off the bat, it was like, oh, we'll ring Tor up. I'm like, oh, shit. Because I was like, yes, I'm going to kill them all with the... You've got a few hours before life support fails. Haha. Whereas now I'm like, shit.
Yeah. The implication that the life support was tied to the bad cogitator is the only reason I didn't bolt pistol the ever living shit out of it. Like, oh, it looks armored. Like, I have just the thing.
All right. Quartus now offline. His body locked and seized up in a prayer position in front of the now open cogitator. Comms still open, with Tor on the line. How do you all wish to proceed?
Quickly and
I'm going to stop
precisely
praying.
as possible. So, the moment that he's down, he's as soon as everyone thinks that he is, you know, shut down, he's going to pull his hood back and look for if there's any obvious way to open his skull other than brute force.
Roll me a just a straight awareness, an easy awareness check.
For an extra layer of inception, I'm gonna need another set of hands here, and he's gonna look around, and he's gonna point at Nathaniel. You come over here.
Oh God.
Do you want Nathaniel? Because I'm going to be having Nathaniel act as Tor for this.
He doesn't have to have a speaking part.
Okay.
Nathaniel's hands aren't really steady either, though. He's old as shit.
You know, it's more keeping track of things that are going on.
Okay.
Like it's not. I don't. Severin has the dexterity. He needs someone with mental acuity to remember what was connected where, etc. when they're doing everything.
Okay.
Because he was standing over. Like, the reason he got hit with the brain is because he was basically standing over where Quartus was, watching what he was doing and see if there's like any kind of cabling or anything that connects and like where it connected. Like he was trying to just like get an idea of what it is and like how simple it could be, you know. And so now he's.
All right,
yeah,
Nathaniel will go over and assist then.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't actually want to have to touch the brain because he doesn't want to get any warp taint on a perfectly good Magos brain after they just got rid of the last one. You said it challenging, right?
Yes, please. As you glance around Quartus's head, there doesn't seem to be any obvious signs or latches, levers, clips for easy access. It's plated, smooth.
He's going to look near where Quartus's head meets his face. That's probably the place where there'd be like a seam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyone want to help on
So-
this?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, sure. I'll help.
All right, Constantine and Finley, you two both roll me an awareness check.
You know, the irony of having taken slid a knife into plenty of skulls, but it's when you want to do it delicately and not damage the things inside.
Is there a button?
There is no button. You all just stare at Quartus's face, and there's no easy. There doesn't seem to be any easy way to slide either the mask off or open the top of his head. Giving you the impression that once a member of the Adeptus Mechanicus has transcended into their augmetic form, they don't really want to get out of it again. Not easily. Now, yes, there are plates and grooves and gaps that, with some force, you might be able to pry open. But at a glance, you all get the impression that once they've ascended to machine godhood, that's where they wish to stay.
Oh, actually, Severin, I think I've got some tools that might help you, and I'm gonna produce my excruciator kit.
Should we not talk to Tor and see what he has to say as well? Maybe he might give us some insight.
Or we're trying to get Quartus's, well, we're trying to get Quartus, I guess, out of.
Quarters.
Tornos.
Trying to get Quartus out of Quartus to get him. Well, this is going to sound weird. How do you open a Magos's brain without their head without damaging what's inside?
Go on, Tor. This is over to you. I give you the rolls, you RP it out.
You have removed his hood, yes?
His hood's peeled back, but he has an nearly entirely metal skull and head around it.
Yes,
I'm
the
looking for a
release
fail-safe.
the release for the skull is not going to be on the skull itself. That would be highly illogical, actually. You're going to want to look around the base of the neck.
Okay, and so he's gonna basically follow down the spine, look for anything that's
You see
What's
a
there?
small groove that looks, if you got either a knife point or a screwdriver or something small under that, perhaps it could jimmy it up.
So Severin's going to use the excruciator kit because
Yeah.
it seems like a lot more of a delicate instrument to do this with. And also he he's never actually been able to use one like on something before. So he's like, all right, yeah, we're doing this.
Well, in that case, I'm going to put this quickly to Constantine. What is your excruciator kit? What's it look like? What's it do? What sort of things does it have to it that helps in this matter?
Oh, well, this is actually a lovely little leather pouch, and it folds open, and it's got lots of different little tools, all of which are pointy, some of which send electric pulses. So yeah, it is full of little things like scalpels and little pliers for pulling people's, teeth and fingernails off. So yeah, it's full of like little delicate things for, removing parts off people, and it's got like little things that I use to push into people for like finding nerve bundles and pressure points. It's full of fun toys like that. Lots of sharp, pointy instruments, basically.
All right. So you take one of these small, sharp instruments, stick it under the latch, lifting it up, which immediately starts to cause a chain reaction amongst a few latches on the back of Quartus' head. As you flick the first one up, then all of a sudden, the second, third, fourth, what seemed to be armor plates now begin to spring up the back of Quartus' neck to the base of his skull. There, as the last plate lifts up, you would start to see underneath it there are it looks like two large screws bolted into the back of the skull, but you get the impression these are the main dials. One, in fact, roll me just a straight routine Medicaid check, please, Severin. One of them controls internal pressure within the skull around the brain. The other one you're not sure of. So the left one's basically like a flow, a little dial for like a flow valve that allows the cerebrospinal fluid that the brain sits in this case, to pump around easily. But the second one you're not entirely certain of.
We've got, looks like it's a regulating dial for being able, basically let what's in his head communicate with the rest of his body, it looks like. And there's a second screw.
Oh, second screw, you say? Okay. Well, that is essentially just more of an anchor, to be honest. It helps stabilize all of the plating on his head. This way it's not crushing his skull as he moves around.
So we want to loosen the second one to get this off?
Yes, you want to loosen it, but at the same time, as you do so, all of that weight is going to bear down his skull. So you'll need to have someone very delicately, very carefully lift those plates.
Lift the plates. Very delicately. Okay. Severin, so like the metal skull part is what I'm thinking he's referring to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And he's going to look at Nathaniel, and doesn't like that idea, and he's going to look, ooh, Finley, you think you can pull up on this as I
Yeah.
turn these gauges?
Yeah, I can do that.
Just see if there's anywhere you can get a grip. If there's not, then I have an idea.
Finley, roll me a routine dexterity check, please. Oh, he does it. What do you do, Finley? As you
I
step in?
find a bit of the plating is there's a ridge on the plating that I'm just barely able to get my fingers on, that I'm holding on to.
So Severin is going to use the tools to turn the gauges and try to disengage the top plate of the skull. And just doing it not super slow, but he's doing it steadily
Mm-hmm.
and just trying to make it as smooth as possible.
That to me sounds like a challenging Medicaid check from you.
Oh yeah.
Son of a bitch. I was literally just sat there thinking, oh, Finley, how are you going to rectify Severin's fuck up? But I don't need to. Severin, carry on.
All right, so Severin's going to slowly loosen this, and as the plate comes loose, he's going to look at Finley and just kind of gesture, like with his chin up, like a lift, just to see if it'll come loose.
All right. I'll pull
Finley,
and lift up.
roll me a... Let's go for a... yeah, just roll me just a routine awareness check, please. As you begin to lift the plate up. Oh, there. You get the impression for the first bit that you could just yank it off, but you don't. You slowly begin to rise, and eventually you feel some resistance, almost like either some form of cable or wire or something elastic is attached to the bottom of this plate that you're slowly starting to lift. You can't see it from where you are, but as soon as you feel this resistance, you stop.
There's I think pulling on like a cable or something.
I'm guessing that Severin has like he's looking into this now,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, you would see a multitude of small cables jut out from a now exposed brain upwards into this skull plate that Finley's lifting. You easily just glance through, see 20, 30 different small, thin connecting wires.
this is the part. Just all right. Now he's just gonna look at Nathaniel now, just to help me remember what goes where, and we're gonna. And so, Severin is going to start using the tools to try to just turn the connectors and just delicately disconnect the brain from everything it's anchored to. And once he starts, he's trying to just keep it going like steadily, not trying to rush, but trying to just get it done without delay.
Yep. I'm not going to ask for a roll. That's the 3 is fine, and Finley, you managed to hold it in place. It takes a good 10-15 minutes. What are the rest of you? In fact, I say rest of you. What's Nathaniel doing at this moment in time?
Nathaniel is... he is watching where every wire connects very intently. Basically, his sole focus is on that, and due to that fact, the Geller field is going to start wavering.
Oh. So I'm going to ask you a question then. Do you wish to roll me a logic check or a psychic mastery check?
You really need the life support and weapons. I'll go logic check.
All right. Roll me a logic. It's going to be an easy logic check. Not a problem. In spite of what's going on, you laser focus on what's currently occurring. You map every single location that these wires go into, where they come from to where they plug in. But the fact that you begin to lose focus on keeping up the field, I am going to have to ask you to roll on the perils of the warp table for me, please.
Would you happen to have a link for that?
In fact, I will, unless... can you see roll table at the top? Can you search for perils?
Let's see.
If not, it's in core rulebook game. See if you can see it there.
Okay, comic book. I can't even see game.
Alright, in that case...
Items, journal, paper. Oh, there's tables.
Alright, you got it?
Perils of the...
So if you right click on that and click on roll, so the rest of you would see Nathaniel just lock up, go completely stiff as he's now just focused on counting. Nathaniel, you would be aware that you dropping the field, something just at the edge of your vision is almost playing a game with you. You can't move your body. And it seems for a brief moment, Nathaniel, that you are obsessed with just counting, with the focus that's required. You can't think of anything else. You can't think of the field around keeping up. You can't think or bring to mind the weird time skips. You don't care. All that matters is just the counting of wires, where they go, where they come from, like threads. Each thread, if just cut or placed in the wrong place, would spell the end for this individual, this Quartus. You, and you alone, have his fate in your hands. The thread of fate that is Quartus is yours to control. Meanwhile, whilst this is going on, Constantine, Errol, what are you two up to?
So we all see the psychic fucking just lock up and go weird, right?
Yes. He's counting. He's laser focused on this counting.
Wonderful. I shall break his reverie with a tap to the side of his head with silent vigil. And I'll just go, "What are you doing?"
The wires must go to their original spots. Must memorize.
And so why are you being so weird about it? Can I
can't
tell he's
move.
using psychic powers right now?
It's not so much that he's using psychic powers, it's the fact that he's not using psychic powers. So
Oh,
Ron,
so I definitely can
you
tell.
definitely can tell, because that feeling, that prickle at the back of your neck, the hairs on your arms would stand up. That feeling that you're being watched by something would wash over the room. Also, your restrained ends, Nathaniel, as you're tapped at the side of the head. But carry on.
Okay.
You have more than one job. Remember that, Nathaniel? Yes?
Oh, yes, of course. And he's going to take a moment to try and bring up the Gelder field again.
Bearing in mind he's looking down the barrel of Silent Vigil this entire time.
Errol, what are you up to?
Standing very still, not touching anything. Because this is something a Nogrin should not be getting involved with.
Damn
I
it.
squash brains, not move them.
Damn it, Lee. Here I am like, yes, give me something to make you roll. And you're like, nope, I'm doing nothing.
I mean, just walking across the room would probably cause problems. So they're all simple, but it's not stupid.
No. All right. To move things along. The next 10, 15 minutes are spent with Nathaniel observing, and then Finley and Severin removing the connections, taking the top of the brain plate off. No doubt, Finley, you put it to one side. Finally revealing and uncoupling Quartus's brain from the various wires and connectors. Apart from the last single plug that's jabbed into the back of his brain that provides electronic stimulus that keeps it going. Through all of this, Tor would no doubt have informed you that the very last thing to do is to basically unplug this last connector, and then from there it's a race against time to get the brain from the brain pan in Quartus's form into the cogitator.
So Severin's going to get this to the point where there's the last, like, it's probably also like the largest plug at the base.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to just take a breath, and he's going to disconnect it and try to pick up the brain, basically being mindful of all the cables that might be protruding from it, and going to try to lift it up and set it inside of the housing for the cogitator. And he says, "Come on, just like shucking an oyster."
Now, thanks to Ravarm, as soon as you begin to scoop the brain out of its casing, moving it across towards the cogitator, Finley, is anything you're doing at this moment in time? As Severin's got this brain in hand?
He is, once he sees that he's got the brain in hand, he's just going to very, very slowly just move away as not to bump into Severin, just giving him the space and room he needs to work and move with the actual brain itself.
As you're moving the brain across, suddenly there is a loud thump. The sound, maybe you wouldn't notice immediately, Severin, but the rest of the crew would. First, it would start out as the sound of boots on metal. Several boots on metal. The others would hear doors opening from outside the chamber. The loud hydraulics, the unlocking of clamps. Followed by screams and the sound of gorse flayers licking out. You, though, Severin, with you being so focused on moving the brain, the only thing you would hear at this moment is this loud thud on the door, followed by a incredibly loud crackle. I need you to roll me let's just go with a routine dexterity check, please. For the rest of the crew, you would see and roll me an easy awareness check. Oh, Severin.
Oh, God.
Hey, there's a 5-second rule.
Fucking 65 or less needed, and you rolled a 65. So, Finley, you are kind of also focused half on this brain, trying to just stay back. So you two are somewhat surprised by this sound. But for Errol, Errol definitely sees it and he understands. He's the one who's currently stood away from it all. No doubt hearing the sounds, Errol, I would imagine you turn to the door with gun and shield ready.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nathaniel, you'd be made vaguely aware at the last minute. Constantine, with you being less in the immediate vicinity, you two would see that from the door. There's several pounds on the door by a couple of fists before all of a sudden a crackle of gorse energy. There's a brief moment where the gap between the doors seems to illuminate green, and the metal around the door seems to heat up for a brief moment, and whatever pounding and screams were at the door just stop. Errol, you are more than aware that someone's just made their way down the corridor, tried to get in, and were just atomized at the door by, no doubt, Necrons just beyond.
Metal Man.
Luckily, Severin, just at the last minute, you don't fumble. You remain steady like a rock, and you move the brain across from Quartus and deposit it into the receptacle on the cogitator. Errol, you begin to listen. You stand up to the door, listen further, and it seems that these footsteps from the Necrons outside are not coming towards you. You hear screams, gunfire from further down the corridor, and these heavy metallic steps seem to get further and further away. But the constant crackling of gorse energy echoes time and time again. It seems that's the Necron assault force is steadily gaining ground.
Metal Men are going away.
Just give Errol a pat on the arm, but like, yeah, we heard them. Just make sure nothing comes through that door, Errol.
And Elle goes and stands right in the middle of the door. Shield in front of him. Ripper at the ready, so if the door opens, he's just gonna press the go button.
Nathaniel, Severin, Finley, what's happening with you guys?
Severin is... The first thing Severin does is when he gets the brain into the other device is he plugs the power conduit in. And then from there he just goes about reconnecting all of the other cables. If he gets a moment of doubt, then he's just gonna call it to Nathaniel to have him just double check his handiwork. But that's basically what he's doing, is just trying to get it installed.
All right. Nathaniel, Finley, anything you two wish to do at this moment, or are you good?
Finley's good. He's just making sure that everything goes as needed.
Yeah, Nathaniel's pretty much just keeping an eye on the wires, due to the slight interference with Constantine's pistol. He's unsure about the last 2 or 3 wires though.
Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Roll
Why
me.
would you say that?
Roll me. Let's go with a routine Medicaid check, please, Nathaniel. Oh, all right, I'll let you off. Just as you see, you advise Severin to plug 2 in. It's just that moment where you think, oh, actually, is it those 2? What do you say?
Severin, I think you're about to cross 2 of those wires. You may need to rethink that.
Swap them around.
Yes, also it would not be a bad idea to rely on Tor.
Well, he can't really see what we're doing, just general broad sweeps, But you have a point, and he'll swap. He's holding a cable in each hand, and he's going to just swap them back to swap them over.
If you need to ask Tor anything, he knows the answer.
And he's just going to look at the cables and see if there's any markings, and he'll describe the markings to Tor. There's only a couple left, and this one has a crosshatch marking, and this one has a few circles on it. So he's just going to try to... He's double checking with them, but he's pretty... It's not like he wasn't paying any attention to what he was doing when he was doing it. It's just he was also focusing on the fact that he was the hands in this guy's skull, and he didn't want to fuck that part up.
Tor confirms the order, and with that you plug the last 2 wires in to the cogitator. The only thing left now is to set the brain in the fluid and close it up.
Well, he'll put the brain in the fluid, because that's the most important part. And then he's going to start looking at how to reconnect all of the plating. At least enough to keep him protected. He's not going to be spending hours trying to reconstruct the thing to perfect shape, but he wants to make sure that it's stable and it's not as easy as just coming in and reaching in and ending this thing.
So with that then, Tor will know the sequence that Quartus took to open the cogitator. So what does Tor say? How do they close it?
You love putting people on the spot, don't you?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Alright, so he's going to describe basically the sequence of the buttons to Severin. But then he's going to tell Severin to wait. And then all everyone's going to hear after that is binaric screeching as Tor does the purification rituals and everything else that he can to make sure that this goes correctly.
Well done. Well done. Yeah. Obviously, Quartus did this earlier, but with a sensor and bits and pieces. But this time, no sensor, as it's just this static noise coming from Tor through the Vox. Eventually, to the point where Tor then gives you, Severin, the final nod. And with a quick keystroke on one of the pads, and Finley, you pulling down a lever on a nearby panel, you would see the top part of this giant metal skull start to descend as it locks in Quartus's brain into the cogitator. Granted, steam is spewed out across the room for a brief moment, the sound of a vacuum being created, and after that, silence. What do you all do?
Do we see
Good work.
Did we see the lights come on at all?
At this moment, no. It's completely blank.
Tor, is there anything else we need to do to make sure this is turned on and he's all right?
Why don't we ask the cogitators? You guys need to turn this on?
The lead cogitator, the ancient one, pauses. Its eyes flicker.
Stand by. Engaging protocols. Establishing connection to new Magos.
There's a moment where everything seems to go dark. The lights of the cogitators turn off. The various console screens flicker. Lights above flicker, and then all of a sudden... yeah, modem sounds can be heard.
Connections has been established. Welcome, Magos Quartus of Ark Venenatus.
In a similar voice, that the voxes are all the same from this you now hear.
It would appear that I have been integrated, truly, successfully. My thanks.
Oh, was it so hard now, was it?
One moment, whilst I establish links to all services, life support.
The lights begin to flicker.
You just had to say something. You just had to say something. Finley throws up his hands and just turns around and just had to fucking say something.
Connection to station defenses has been successful.
Oh, wonderful. We give him a stammer. Great.
Life support systems are now under my control. One moment, dealing with issues.
You will see the eyes from the new Quartus cogitator just begin to flicker rapidly. The The fact he's just taken over station defences in the middle of an active war zone and immediately has to start issuing out orders to various servitors has no doubt overwhelmed him. The central cogitator chimes in at this point.
Magos Quartus is currently dealing with threat assessment across the station.
There is-
That's understandable. He has been rescued from a temporal time loop and death at the hands of a heretic, and then made the journey across this entire station and been installed as a Magos in all under, I'd say, 12 hours or so.
A voice
It's a lot to deal with.
would cut across the Vox channel and blast out the speakers. Yeah, good. Magos biologist Tor Sabo, your services are no longer required and appreciated.
Before he clips off the comm, he's just going to say, Omnissiah be praised.
Disconnect. Report.
It would appear, Inquisitor, that we're fully in control of the systems now.
Just like shucking an oyster. It's all good.
One
Also, I'm a
moment.
brain surgeon.
Yes, I will up your pay to reflect your new skills, Severin. I'm actually getting reports now from the second team that went in. It appears that some of the static has been cleared. Squads Alpha and Bravo are currently caught in a loop, along with one of the members of the second team we sent in, so they are holding positions at the docking bay doors as we speak, but can't progress any further due to a temporal anomaly.
That makes sense. If you can relate to them, just to hold position while we try and alleviate this problem.
Understood, gentlemen, understood. So, I'm sure you're no doubt about to be very busy, so anything further you need from me?
Deep scans of the planet for any energy spikes would be wonderful. A heads up would be nice.
Constantine, and you think that I've not been doing that already? There's a blip on your data pad. And all of a sudden, as you look down, there is just a loading bar, streams of information from the temerity of Effete's scanners just flooding into your data pad at this moment in time.
Thank you, Inquisitor. We should leave this link open to the cogitator, and we'll feed information and data back through there.
Don't worry about leaving it. Let us just say that our new cogitator friend has no other options but to remain open at this time. You would see the cogitator's eyes just flickering constantly, and get the impression that the tech priests aboard the Temerity have basically forced open this cogitator. Now that it's granted access, there's no way it can close the connection.
We're gonna find out some shit whether you like it or not.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Yeah, it opened the doors, let the Inquisition in, and the Inquisition kicks said doors open, and there's no getting out now. So yeah, it's not spoken in a while. If a brain in a tube could become a drooling mess, this is pretty much how it would look. This
Wonderful.
line will remain open. If you need anything, let me know as soon as possible. If things go to shit, then secure immediate evacuation from the station, and we will do what we can. Granted, we may not be able to level the planet, but worst comes to worst, we have more than enough ordnance aboard the Temerity to pound the station to space debris.
Wonderful. Understood.
Though, if you could garner said ordnance from the vaults, I would not be adverse to it.
Ahead of you on that one. We've already got one bird just for cargo, depending on how big they are. If we only need one, we'll only use one.
Very well. Good hunting, gentlemen. I will see you back aboard the Temerity upon your successful return.
Roger that. Emperor protects. Constantine out.
The Emperor protects. There's a click as Inquisitor Aldona cuts her own comms. Followed shortly after by just standard Vox chatter. It seems that as soon as the Inquisitor has cancelled her line, all of the various military and Air Force have just swarmed this open Vox network to you. So as soon as she finishes, you just hear just noise now in your ear.
I'll take it out now. Let's go to Finley. Finley, can you just bleed some of that out? I don't need to hear all that shit in my Vox.
Oh, Finley's just gonna ignore Constantine when he says that.
Great. Wonderful.
Apologies for my...
So go on, Finley.
I'll make sure the channel's clear if we need to get her back on the line, but we need to make sure that the rest of the squads can communicate. Just pull your Vox beat out for now.
Great.
Apologies for my temporary absence. There were a few issues that required my immediate attention.
The voice of Quartus in the familiar Vox temperance or cadence that the other speaking now just blares out of the room.
I have secured you a route through to Vault Delta, where some of the ordnance weapons we discussed are stored. I also have something that I believe you should see.
Oh.
Please insert your data slate into the receptacle provided.
You would see, just to the side of Quartus's cogitator, a flap drops down.
Sorry about that. Fucking somebody wanted me. Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. And Constantine will put his data slate.
On takes a moment, but the data is transferred before the data slate's then ejected out. As you glance over it, it seems to be a point of view recording from one of the gun servitors that's positioned around the main entrance to Vault Omega.
Mm-hmm.
There seems to be a large number of the black-robed heretics congregating outside the door. Quartus has not engaged the gun turrets on them, but you would see that green stripes, green static discharges of Gorse energy occasionally lapse into view, showing that the Necron invaders are slowly starting to push into the entranceway to Vault Omega, where Archmagos Vel's been conducting these experiments with Object 3077.
Okay, that's great. Can you hold fire for now until we enter the vicinity, and then the Omniscience Justice, and
So, confirmation is keep up the ruse, engage all Xenos forces until you approach Vault Omega, yes?
yes, and then anybody that isn't us, engage.
Understood. Not only does the Omniscire protect, but the Omniscire brings forth judgment upon the archenemy. I must thank you for this most auspicious position that I have been granted. Without your interference, I would not be here. Thank you.
No, thank you. Without your help, this station would be doomed.
You wish to make way to the Vault Omega immediately, or to Vault Delta for the ordnance?
Well, we should go to Omega first to deal with that heretical Magos, and then we'll blow up the planet.
Agreed.
Understood.
Cordus, you have control of the defenses. Is the ordnance in a position to be used?
Negative. The ordnance is currently sealed deep within Vault Delta, roughly 150 levels down. In fact, consideration the 72 levels that you climbed would actually make it more like 200 and a considerable amount. Apologies. Multiplication is currently problematic due to targeting subroutines taking priority.
Of course, but I agree with Finley. We should go deal with the... And he waves his hand around like at the air, the problem, the immediate problem, and then deal with the other.
One problem at a time, eh?
I will assign you a guide upon departing this chamber, and I will attempt to deal with all threats that cross your path before reaching the vault itself.
Well, I think it'll be a bit of a surprise for the heretics once their own weapon systems that they thought were under their control turn on them. Shall we get the party started, boys?
I believe so. Nathaniel, are you going to be alright?
Oh yes, Gallifrey.
No more little episodes?
I was just concentrating too hard on one thing, and the Gallifrey kind of slipped my mind. But no, we will be all right.
Okay, wonderful.
I kneel down and make a step so Constantine can limp over and get back on.
And mount you. Yeah. Alright. I'll ascend to my podium and be like, okay, gentlemen. Let's do what we do best.
Now, yes, well, Constantine rides his chariot.
Yes,
Good
well,
job, Earl.
when
Good
your
job, Earl,
leg
as
looks
he
like
pats him on
Swiss
the back.
cheese, we'll think about fucking getting you, I don't know, a servitor to ride.
All right. With the sound of the doors beginning to unlock, cogs turning, hydraulics hissing, the chamber from whence you came now comes into view. It's a slightly different scene to the one you left. There's a multitude of piles of dust scattered around, the odd burnt red and black robe. One singular Necron warrior lies dormant in the middle of the junction. The head completely removed, turned to slag by concentrated lasgun fire. But doesn't take long before you see, just hovering down the corridor in your direction, a servo skull. As the servo skull gets closer to you, it looks over you all. Seems to almost bow its head, do a 180, and then start floating down the corridor. What do you do?
Well, I guess that's our, our guide.
Time to follow the servo skull.
Over the next 30 to 40 minutes, it leads you through corridor after corridor. And you seem to get the impression that the direction you're going, there's always gunfire ahead. By the time you reach a point where you thought you heard combat, there's nothing much left apart from one or two destroyed servitors, a few cultist bodies on the ground, the odd greenish-hued scorch mark from where Necron forces have phased in or out. Maybe occasionally the odd Necron warrior that's been felled by the heavy bolters from some of the servitors, but for all intents and purposes, your journey is uneventful, just apart from the horrific sound of combat 100 or so meters ahead of you all the time.
You know, I am so glad that our little operation to get the man we saved, well, the half machine we saved, transferred into a full machine has worked out perfectly. I have a feeling we would have been eviscerated by now.
No, I'm sure we'd have been
prob-
fine.
But this is so much easier.
I mean, this is absolutely
easier.
so much easier.
The journey continues until eventually you reach a large atrium. Just ahead, where this archway lies, you see what appears to be a suspended platform above various pipes and machinery. Two giant fans at the far end pump air through, and at the very far end and central is a door. Above it, the words Vault Omega flash. The other thing that would get your attention would be the multitude of green scorch marks on the ground. 6 pillars that seem to be either cogitators themselves or some form of computational array. And then probably 20 or so cultists guarding said door. You step through the archway and immediately cling to the sides. Your opponents unaware that you have stepped onto the battlefield. And I'll bring us into this scene. Seeing this, ahead of you all, a few of the static gun servitors firing at the Necrons, the cultists with, well, not cultists, but the heretics with las guns, las pistols, auto guns shooting also at the Necrons. Any immediate impressions?
I mean, we should maybe let them fight. Our auto guns and stuff there, I think, are under our control now, aren't they?
They are, but they are currently shooting at the Necrons. Waiting for you to get into
deal
position.
with the metal. Waiting, maybe kill the Necrons?
Nathaniel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Roll me a routine Psyniscience check, or awareness if you don't have Psyniscience. All of a sudden, as you make your way, Nathaniel, you get this odd feeling. This unpleasant feeling. The warp's in full effect here. And someone at the very far end of the room is looking directly at you. And he has the same aura you do.
Fucking wonderful.
And there, folks, is where we will call episode 4 of the Black Vault. With the Heretic Psyker noticing you all in the midst of combats between the Heretic forces and the Necron incursion. Good shit.
Fucking liability.
I mean, he rolled higher, what can I say? Or, well, he rolled better. Psyker
Bullshit.
off next episode then, I guess.
Seems like it.
Any closing
Well, the
statements?
question will be who's gonna spawn the greater demon of Zinch? The Heretic or Nathaniel?
Any closing statements? Or any questions, anything
Hi,
before we...
chat.
No? No?
I do have one question.
Yeah, fire away, Nathaniel.
So, whenever he was so enamored by the threads and
Yeah.
everything else, is
Counting?
that gonna taint him at all?
No. I did think about it, but I think just that alone is enough to put you on track as to what may be coming if you breach the Imperium.
Okay.
Barksy, thank you for that sub. I enjoyed the brain as well. Yeah. Goodbye, chat.
Have a good night, chat.
Bye, chat.
Bye.
See you tomorrow for Cradle of Ruin.
All right. I'm going to click on that button. Mute you lot up. Oh dear. Everyone, thank you very much once again for joining us. Apologies about last weekend that we missed both Black Vault and Cradle of Ruin. Just one of those things. Both groups had scheduling issues. And Thea got drunk. Very drunk and was too hungover to D&D on the Sunday. So I'm going to call her out now, and no doubt we'll give her some shit tomorrow when we return for Cradle of Ruin. But again, Barksy, thank you for the 4-month resub. I appreciate it immensely. Vex, thank you for the 30 bits. For the screaming lizard emoji. I like... Where's that from? Seno the Crocodile. That's good. I like that one. And also, thank you for the other 30 bits for saying hello. Appreciate it. Lucius, thank you for the gift of sub to Prepper Jack. Prepper Jack, thank you for the 5,000 bits. Just fucking dumped all of his credits out and was like, yo, dog, here, take some money. I appreciate it. Thank you. It means a lot. I'm glad you enjoy what we do. Rayvon, thank you for the 22 months. Howdy to you. There was some great... what was that today from you, good sir? I appreciate that. Califorge, thank you for the 60 months. Lee, thank you for the 65 months. Shade Cobra, thank you for the 45 months. And Durs, congrats on getting first. On that though, I am going to bounce for the night. And I hope to see you all tomorrow for our D&D campaign, Cradle of Ruin. I'll try and find someone to raid. Ta-ta for now.